If you haven't noticed, perfectionism destroys your productivity. Now, what is productivity anyways? Productivity is a ratio between inputs and outputs, between what you put in of energy and what you get out of it, right? And so with perfectionism, it messes with this ratio in very, very subtle ways. For instance, through procrastination, hustling, as well as overthinking, over-planning, and over-consuming. And I've noticed this because I work with plenty of high performers with perfectionism, whether it be, coaches, entrepreneurs, and creatives. They all seem to have this issue where perfectionism really just hinders their capacity to create, right? And so we're gonna cover all of that in this video, talk about how perfectionism destroys your productivity. Now, if you haven't been here, my name is Martina, and I wanted to say hi, sunflowers and bloomers. We here at Bloom Beyond help high performers create a life and business of freedom from perfectionism with the power of the subconscious mind. So really helping you overcome perfectionism, right? So we're starting off now talking about procrastination. But what is procrastination anyways, right? Procrastination is actually a form of perfectionism. Okay? Now, procrastination is basically just energy that has become stagnant. So you might have noticed that whenever you have, actually overcome the procrastination at some point, you get a burst of energy, right? And so I just want to make sure to say straight up front that whenever you are procrastinating, please don't beat yourself up over it, because that energy will at some point come out regardless, all right? It's just accumulated. It's just stagnant energy waiting to be released. So that energy is being suppressed or repressed, and it's unable to go anywhere. And so you can see now how procrastination is really, really, really detrimental to your level of productivity, your level of expression, your level of expansion, because that energy ain't going anywhere, see? And so with procrastination, it truly, truly, truly has a huge impact on your level of productivity. And it is truly something that roots in perfectionism. And, perfectionism roots in shame as well. Shame, guilt, fear, all of those kinds of emotions. Procrastination is also nothing, nothing kind of like that you can solve with time management and all that kind of sorts. No, procrastination is emotional. It's highly subconscious. And so that is why you oftentimes might think to yourself, well, why can't I just stop procrastinating, right? I know what I want to do, but I don't do it, but I can't not do it, right? So that is because the procrastination is emotional. It's happening because there is a block at a subconscious level. See? Now, with procrastination, the thing is that once you then are able to actually rewire your subconscious for what it is that you do want, what it is that you do want to do, then that actually helps. It's always about, being able to reframe and kind of recondition your limbic system, your mind, your body to be able to want to do what it is that you're doing. See? Because if you have some sort of emotion there that is not helpful, right? That is not something that you would want to, move towards, then you are gonna be stopped by the procrastination. So procrastination is highly emotional, and it is not something that you can just solve by forcing yourself into action per se. It really helps when you have conviction in what it is that you're doing, and also that you have enough emotion around what it is that you want to do, because that is what can charge you to take action. See? So just know that procrastination roots in perfectionism. Furthermore, I also wanted to mention that hustling is another form of, perfectionism. And the reason being that hustling actually, can hinder your level of expression and productivity is because oftentimes hustling is a way of being busy, right? You're busying yourself. You're distracting yourself with plenty of different things that you're doing in order to think that you are making any progress. Oftentimes we just keep ourselves busy with a lot of different things and occupy our agenda, occupy our schedule, just to feel like we're making progress. Because oftentimes it's highly uncomfortable to remain still and to let yourself actually consider what is the main priority, what it is that you actually are here to do. And so instead of facing that kind of uncomfortable emotion of stillness, we would rather want to just grab onto a lot of different small little things here and there that we want to do, or that we could do. And we do those, but then we actually, at the end of the day, might not actually do the main thing. So hustling distracts us from the main thing. See? And that is a way of perfectionism. Perfectionism and hustling go hand in hand. Why is that? Well, oftentimes we hustle for our worthiness because we've been conditioned from a very early age that our level of productivity, our level of actually doing something is intertwined with our sense of self, with our sense of worth. And so if we don't feel like we do enough or do anything productive, then that says something about not only what we do, but about who we are, about our worth. So our level of productivity, right, is not ever meant to be intertwined with our worth, because it's truly not. Once you bloom beyond perfectionism and overcome perfectionism, you can see that. But when you're conditioned with perfectionism, that is not what you see. So oftentimes then, you're hustling for your worth. You're hustling to make things work. You're hustling to make progress. And that is not sustainable, right? At some point, you are going to hit the frickin' wall. You are going to hit the wall at some point. If you haven't already, you're going to. That's just law, really, okay? Because we have just a certain amount of energy. And if our energy is fueled from a place of fear rather than love, that is what is going to screw it all up, right? So keep that in mind, that hustling is a form of perfectionism, and that this truly also messes with your level of productivity. Then I also wanted to mention overthinking, overplanning, overconsuming, right? Over this and over that. Oftentimes with perfectionism, we're overextending ourselves. We're overthinking, right? Being in our head. And we're overplanning, also being in our head, as well as overconsuming information, oftentimes also being in our head. So you see how the common thread here is that you're living more in your head than in your body? That is something that I've noticed with high performers with perfectionism, that you oftentimes actually live more in your head than in your body. And so you don't have much connection between your breath, like with your breath, the inhale and exhale, because you are so occupied with thinking. Oftentimes too, we have been conditioned to think over be, right? And so we find worthiness in that as well. We find worthiness in thinking. So the thing here is that with overthinking, over planning, and over consuming information, oftentimes we do it because it gives us a release of dopamine momentarily, right? In the short term, it gives us these tiny little bits of dopamine here and there whenever we do something, whenever we plan something, whenever we think about something, whenever we overconsume anything whatsoever it is. Oftentimes it's knowledge, it's books, it's this and that, just to make sure that we, feel like we're making any progress. That releases dopamine and it keeps us occupied from doing the main thing. So again, these are all kind of ways in which perfectionism really messes with your productivity. So procrastination, hustling and overthinking, over planning, and over consuming information. These are all ways that perfectionism manifests to mess with your level of productivity. Now, if you would like help and support to actually overcome these, that is what we're specialized in, right? Here at Bloom Beyond to help you with. And you're more than welcome to apply to the Bloom Beyond tribe, right? Go to bloombeyond.com/apply, and you can apply there to join our tribe where we're a community of sunflowers and bloomers, as well as myself and the team, to support you and help you where it's a 256 members limit in this group, and it's monthly cohort based. So keep in mind that there is a waiting list that you might then be added to. If you're selected based on your application, you'll be contacted once it's your turn to join. But we are here to support as many as possible to really overcome perfectionism in whatever way that it manifests for you, right? Because everyone tend to have different way of coping with it, and whether it be procrastination or hustling, or whether you are overthinking and over planning and over consuming information, this is the place for you. So make sure to go ahead right now and apply to that if this calls your name, and we might see you on the other side. Have a good one and stay bright, brave, and balanced.